Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo! Here! That was intense. You ever had this Orange Crush in a bottle? I saw this. I just had to get one. But you can't crush an Orange Crush unless you want to decapitate your finger regions. It's my second channel, daily vlog channel. It's the Daily Woo.
Check out that old barn. Half of it standing, the other half decomposing. Fairmount, Indiana. Straight ahead. When you think of pop culture icons, you usually think of three key people. Let's say you go to Hollywood Boulevard and you go in those little gift shops. There are always an exorbitant amount of photos of Elvis, Marilyn Monroe, and James Dean. And even though James Dean has become this massive icon of pop culture, he was raised in his hometown, is right here in Indiana. Why is there a tornado siren going off? That would not be fun. Scared me for a second. My gosh. It's pretty cool. They have a little bar here on the corner called Giant, of course named after one of the 3 James Dean movies. And that famous shot of James Dean standing was right over here on the sidewalk. And in the background, you see the Fairmount Bank. I was here about 3 or 4 years ago when I did a main channel video on the Adam the Woo channel. Just search James Dean Adam the Woo, and you can see every single spot from every photograph where James Dean history is here in town. The last time I was here, I was in such a rush that I did not get a chance to really spend much time at the museums here in town. And I want to do that now. Okay, my review on this museum, absolutely amazing. Upstairs, they have a lot of like artifacts from the town itself, but then down below, they have a whole section dedicated to Jim Davis and Garfield, who is also from here in Fairmount. But down on the bottom floor, there's tons of James Dean artifacts, stuff he owned, stuff from his movies. They even had the monkey and the knives from Rebel Without a Cause. That completely blew my mind, as well as the guard railing from the mansion from the movie Giant, and then other things, other little things he had in his possession as he was growing up and his family had. Super cool. If you're ever in Fairmount, check out that museum. Totally worth checking out. The back alleys of James Dean's stomping grounds. There's another museum here too, the James Dean Gallery, Museum and Gift Shop.
You're so handsome, James.
I know. There's a picture of his old high school that they tore down a few years ago. I may or may not have snuck in the abandoned building when I was here last time. This is a recreation of the intersection where James Dean died in California, and that would be James Dean's car right there. Of course, a recreation of the famous scene from Rebel Without a Cause when James Dean is jumping over the fence to talk to Natalie Wood. Oh, according to this, it's the original gate. Holy cow. It's the original gate from Los Angeles right here. Wow, look at that. No way. Now that's cool. When East of Eden was premiering, the grocery bags here in town displayed an advertisement for the film. How cool is that? That is small town life right there. Proud of their favorite son. And I think it's necessary to wear sunglasses inside, because that's what James Dean... What was that? This James Dean mask? It's kind of terrifying. Here's a newspaper article, and that's the spot I was at earlier. See, there's the bank, and there's that really cool structure. And that's that alley I was standing in. That museum was super awesome. One cool thing about this town as well, if you are a fan of the Smiths, Morrissey, when he quit the band and started doing his solo stuff, he flew from England here to do his first music video as, quote-unquote, Morrissey without the other Smith members, and he went to all the James Dean spots, including the museum, and they gave me a photocopy from 1988 of Morrissey. Look at this. Morrissey signing the guest registry. That's cool. This sign says closed for the winter, but based on what I'm seeing before my eyes, I think it's going to be closed a little bit longer than seasonally. Here's the old stairs leading into what was the high school where James Dean attended. And since the last time I was here years ago, they have bulldozed the entire thing. When I was here last time, I went inside the school before they started to demolish it and tried to get to the second floor. Unfortunately, the stairway had fallen in and I couldn't do it because on the second floor, the classroom that sat right up here was James Dean's classroom. And Morrissey, when he did that music video, signed "You Can't Go Home Again" on the chalkboard. So somewhere here in this rubble is that chalkboard. Man, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. Looks like a piece of an old locker right there. Look at that. That's cool. Stopping off now at the final resting place of James Dean. And you can see people have left little mementos there. And just like Marilyn's grave in Los Angeles, people kiss the headstone. I would wager to say that this is probably the most popular grave in this cemetery. In fact, there are two women there who are stopping to pay their respects and probably leave their lipstick marks. This is like an entire parade. He's very popular. If you've ever been to California and to Los Angeles, the Griffith Observatory has a statue, basically a bust, the head of James Dean, and there are only two of those in existence. One in Los Angeles and one directly across the street, right there. I get excited about the most simple things, and to be at both James Dean statues within a month of each other, because I was at Griffith Observatory like a month ago, and to be at the one here in Indiana, and there's only two of them in existence, it's kind of cool, right? I think so. For anyone that lives near Hollywood or is visiting the Griffith Observatory, when you go there next time, take a look on the side of the bust and see if it is dated 1955 like this one. I'm kind of curious. That is so cool. Whoa, there's an old hearse right there. It's all beat up and rusted and worn out. So this is a pretty good opportunity to take the drone up in the air and get a bird's eye view of James Dean's hometown. And lest us not forget Jim Davis, who was the creator also of Garfield. They both lived in this tiny town, wandering around. This is their stomping grounds, if you will. Just basically a couple blocks of downtown. I think there's only one traffic light. There's a record store. There's a couple bars, a little diner, a bank. Small town life at its finest. Just to think that James Dean went on to become the cultural icon that he is. Known in Hollywood, known in New York City. People don't even realize he was from this very small town. Oh, Fairmount. Good to see you again. Till next time.
Be very quiet. Be very quiet. They're sleeping. Don't ruin it. Go back to sleep, Zoe. Go back to sleep. Take a nap. Lay your head down. Lay your head down. Pretend you're sleeping. Put your head down. Pretend you're sleeping. Zoe, get with the program. Put your head down. Put your head down. Pretend you're sleeping. Put your head back down.
What is this weirdo doing?
Put your head down. Don't look at her. Put your head down. Pretend you're sleeping.